Hey, Dragon Dreamers, Gina Virginia Casella here. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. It's the new moon. This is my favorite time personally to weave my wisdom in the dark. So let me know about you when it comes to manifesting, practicing your spiritual autonomy, embracing your spiritual autonomy. What does that even mean, spiritual autonomy? Spiritual autonomy, just like any profession, like your teaching profession, you have the autonomy. As long as you cover the content as the teacher, you have the professional autonomy to teach addition, for example, how you see fit. And so that's my attitude when it comes to spiritualism, is that no nobody can tell us how to pray. Nobody can tell us how to engage in divinational practices. The best we can do is think, pair, share it up, and leave people to discover what works for them and to honor alchemy, because maybe you're really hooked on a routine, but you know what, in 5 years from now or something, that routine has changed. So let me know how that applies to you. Today I'm going to do one of my favorite things, and that's a gemstone reading. I'll have to turn my uh, camera, my background off. I've got my gemstones here. There they are in my hand, some of them. And there's a story behind it. These are the Gnome King's gemstones, and you can read all about that in my books. There's 8 of them, Dragon Dreams book series. It's a lifelong book series. And my schedule is going to be changing. So my dream scarf, Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, these Fridays, come 2026, they're going to be a Thursday thing. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. And just before I get started here, those of you who are tuning in live, it's not too late to run and grab a candle, a little stick to burn. We're going to do fire ceremony. And if you've got some flora or holy water that you've made on your own, grab that too. And if you don't have any of those tools, please don't worry about it, because whatever I have is on behalf of you. So, see my white hair coming through? I mean, right? So, reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm trying to go every 2 months, maybe even stretch it out 3 months to dye my hair. But I'm telling you, it's like my hair, it didn't even go gray. It just goes straight to white. So I'm just noticing that in the camera, and part of me loves it because, um, this is how I look. This is the authentic me. And um, as I shed skins in my life and embrace my own age and reflect on things in my life, I do notice, wrinkles. I do notice freckles. I am a sun lover, so brown spots on my face, especially here, really starting to show. And what's interesting is you would think that I would cake the makeup on even more now, but I'm actually dialing back on the makeup uh, because my skin just can't handle it. And also because I find the makeup, I don't know if like the oil in my skin has changed, but I just feel like makeup smears way too much. Um, so let me know how you relate in the comments. I'm just waiting for more people to sign on, promoting myself a little bit. Make sure you check out my website, ginavirginiacasella.com. All the information is there in the details. And if you've never heard of me before, I do energy medicine, and I also do mind reprogramming. So I can help you with anything: weight loss, if you have rashy skin, maybe you're lacking confidence, you've always wanted to make that speech, or maybe, you started a new job and for whatever reasons, you just can't even enter the staff room to join your colleagues for lunch. You're welcomed to, it's a positive epigenetics, the environment, but there's something holding you back. Like, I can help you with that kind of stuff. Those of you who have super soldier experience, um, anybody who has any extraterrestrial experiences, interesting dreams. Maybe you have a story like me about the Gnome King. I get that. I'm on your wavelength. I don't think anything is weird to me anymore. I'm starting to think that, normal is actually the new weird, because there's nothing strange about high strangeness. The paranormal is very normal, and the supernatural is very natural. So the mind's number one job is to protect you, even if it means creating false inhibiting beliefs, lying to yourself, and keeping you stuck and stagnant. So that's how powerful your mind is. And your mind will do things like create ailments to help you, but really this is all counter. It doesn't work out for us. It's kind of like an in the moment thing when a blueprint is created. And that's the thing about the rules of the mind. Like, the mind doesn't understand there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. The conscious, logical mind does, but not the subconscious mind. It's all just in the now. It's all there. So there's no timeline. And that's what I do with mind reprogramming, is we find that timeline. I love what I do, these gemstone readings. If you book an appointment with me, it all starts with story medicine. And so I don't do talk therapy. I'm quite in opposition of it, actually. Like, there's a time and a place to talk, just to, be heard, be validated, share your thoughts and opinions, to speak openly, to have somebody be the silent witness for you. It's very positive talk therapy, because you can bounce off your ideas. Am I being rational? Is this irrational? And you can help somebody out. But to spend 20 years in talk therapy, what are you doing? You're literally just engaging in talk therapy. You're not transforming, transcending, transmuting. You're definitely not doing anything to transform your affinities. So that's something that I'm very passionate about. And I'm very humble to be open about the fact that I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Most of my information comes through dreams, half remembered, half misunderstood. And so I don't watch scary movies either. And so the more I engage in energy medicine work, like, I'm actually trained, qualified through the Four Winds with Alberto Villoldo. So it's not just something I did on my own. The gemstone reading is, but not the Four Winds energy medicine work that I do. That's a modality that I follow, and I love that modality because there's flexibility in it. I'm also trained by Marissa Peer, rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy. She invented that. Now, I don't sell modalities, but I do like to think, pair, share it up. And I'm always tickled pink, because everybody always asks me, how do you know all this information? Where do you get your information? And it's like, through dreams, half remembered, half misunderstood. But for what it's worth, I do have an education behind me. The Four Winds, Marissa Peer, RTT, and I was a public school teacher for 20 years. I graduated from the first social emotional cohort in North America. That was at the University of British Columbia in the province of BC, those of you not familiar with Canada. So I'm very passionate about feelings. And thankfully for me, I personally don't care about the research, but I know that when it comes to this kind of stuff, research-based evidence helps to narrow down and solidify things that we can rely on. And energy medicine, rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, those are things that you can rely on. And you can take the training. So, like I said, I don't sell modalities. However, if I've inspired you and you would like to learn more, I don't teach RTT. I don't teach energy medicine. Maybe someday I will. But you can take those classes. And also, I'm very open to responding to your questions, but at some point I might just tell you, why don't you just take the training, Like, it's nice to pick my brain, but my focus, the point I'm making, is on my creation, which is the gemstone reading. And this is a modality that I created And I just did it for myself. And you know what? One thing led to another. I had some friends that were feeling bummed out, needed some insight. I was part of various meditation groups, and I just found myself like reaching for my gemstones and applying something that I applied to myself and only myself to others, and other people really connected to it. And I mean, it's been a handful of years now, but I felt really shy about it at first, especially because um, I grew up Roman Catholic. I've always had spiritual experiences, but when I was in grade two, and those two angels came out of my wall, it really messed me up. Um, so again, how you think and feel matters to the point that it creates ailments and inspires healing. And when you share stories and people don't believe you, especially in your childhood, you're totally haunted by that in your adulthood. And that's the connection I make and relate to other dragon dreams out there. I know what it's like to be afraid of the ghost and spirits. And that was a struggle because why would I be afraid of angels, right? But it's because in my heart, I knew that those weren't angels. Now, were they ETs? I don't know. Were they a technology? I don't know. But I do know that I've had to do a lot of atonement with myself, atonement with the father, atonement with the mother, atonement with every single person that I know practically, atonement with God. Because what I've realized is that we can get into interesting conversations about incarnations and soul contracts and whatnot. But at the end of the day, here I am landed on planet Earth into a family I'm born, and they teach me stuff. So the programming already takes a hold of me when I'm literally a newborn. And when I'm born into survival mode. It is not a coincidence that babies who have parents who speak English, the baby speaks English, right? Parents who speak French, the baby will speak French, right? Why? Because the baby is echoing the communication, and that's a priority. Learning the same language as the family, learning the ropes, learning what is culturally appropriate, socially acceptable, and what is not, and steering your life in a way, in a direction where essentially you're a conformist. We all are, including myself. We conform because we're all the same, no matter how unique we are, no matter how much of an introvert we may be, we're all the same because we all require community. Community translates into survival. So if you don't have community, you're not going to survive. Maybe for a little bit, but you're not going to survive the long haul, if you will. And that's where roles come into play. Now, I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm just very passionate about what I do. And so if you book an appointment with me, I like to kick it off with a gemstone reading just to get some talk therapy going, to give me an idea. Now, the beauty about the gemstone reading when you book an appointment with me is you don't have to do a deep dive telling me about your whole life story. You just have to give me some little tips here about why you wanted to book a session with me. And no matter what your reason is, it boils down to one or two or three of these main themes. And that is that you don't feel like you're good enough. You feel like things are not available to you, and or you feel like there's something wrong with you, like you're different, something is off about you. So it doesn't matter if you come to see me, like from your perspective it might matter, but from my perspective I narrow right down and zone in. I don't mess around. so so when you come and see me, we do a little bit of talk therapy, and in my mind I'm categorizing: not enough, things not available, or is this a case of something is wrong or different about you? Ultimately, we don't feel safe. And then we break it down into those three categories. So if you come to see me because you're on the shy side, or maybe you have a fear of flying, turns out you don't have a shy side. It turns out you don't have a fear of flying. Those of you who come to see me with weight, it turns out that you don't have a problem with your weight. You have a problem with feeling like you're not enough, and or that things are not available to you, and or that there's something wrong with you, or there's something like different off with you. And none of those things are true. And that's why we need to engage in these conversations. So, um, story medicine, the beauty about booking a private with me is if you wanted to spend the whole hour just doing a gemstone reading, you can do that. If you wanted to spend the whole hour just doing mind reprogramming, we can do that. If you want to spend the whole hour doing energy medicine, we can do that. I recommend, however, and each is a case by case scenario, each client. I recommend, if you look at the schedule that I've posted on Buy Me a Coffee, and those details are in the description, is that I see you the first 2 weeks of the month. And so the first week, we do a little bit of story medicine, see where you're at, and then I provide you with energy medicine work, and it's over. It includes fire ceremony, and that's it. And then the next time we meet, we do the same thing, but we plan. So there's always an intention when you come and see me, there's a continuum of the service. So if you want mind reprogramming, because I know a lot of mind reprogramming is very appealing to a lot of you, mind reprogramming is something you might want to do 3-4 months in a row and then take a break. It's too intense. Some of you might only want to do mind reprogramming bi-monthly, like, focus on mind reprogramming for the month of December. And then in January, it's like an energy medicine focus. And that's the beauty about booking a private, is we can have these conversations and we can be flexible. Something like soul retrieval is a buzzword that goes around. I shouldn't call it a buzzword, but when I say soul retrieval in a buzzword sense, people get what I'm talking about. It means you go back in time, so to speak, and you retrieve your soul and you rewrite your contract. There's different modalities out there. I really didn't know until I received training. And as part of my training, I had to, my colleagues and I, like, we had to practice on each other and go through the motions. It was hell. And I learned that something like soul retrieval is totally not a one-off session. And to really be successful with something like soul retrieval, you want to do the gemstone readings, you want to do the energy medicine, you want to do some mind reprogramming, and then maybe like a handful of months down the road, you'll be in a place where you can do soul retrieval. So I feel like my years as a public educator, like I had a strong 20-year career as a public school teacher. I was heavily involved in the union, and all those high quality skills are now coming forward, transferable skills into my spiritual biz entrepreneurism, because I'm not your teacher, I'm your healer. I'm that person on your hero's journey that you bump into, or maybe you made it a point to come and find me, and we sit down and we hash things out. And we hash things out, like I like to call it owl medicine. We hash out the truth, because, oh my God, the truth hurts. Does it ever hurt? There's so many truths out there, and they're hard to handle. But if you can handle the truth, you can face it and you can make change. So, the nice thing too about working with me is I don't take the first 15 to 20 minutes to promote myself, and I don't take the last 15 or 20 minutes to remind you about my website. We just meet, and we get the session started. If you look at Buy Me a Coffee, there's also a lot of bonuses included. So one of my favorite things to do is provide mini gemstone readings to the collective, to paid members. And so I guarantee at least twice a month. I know you're going to need at least one. It's nice to have two. If you don't want two and you just want the one, don't read the email, right? But I give two because I know a lot of folks out there, they like having two. And if I'm feeling like I need to send more, then I send more as I feel I need to. So the rhythm monthly changes, and those mini collective gemstone readings don't include all this other stuff either. So, um, so let's open up some sacred space and let's get busy. Hmm. This isn't a mini gemstone reading, by the way, so I'm going to tell you more information. And for me, the south direction is this way here. You can't see my hand, it's that way. So I'm going to put my hand this way to face the directions. And I encourage you to do the same. Or if you want, you can actually turn your chair. These are the archetypes from the four winds. Those of you who have been following me, I've come a long way on my journey, and I'm so pleased that you've continued to follow me. I have the convocation right here, and I started a new routine where I read it word for word. It's a pet peeve of mine when people stand and deliver. Like, I'm not impressed by that. But the thing is, I'm at a point in my journey where um, if you can learn this and say it with me, or if you can learn it and on your own do this, that's something special. And the idea is to learn it as it is. And then as you get comfortable with it, you make it your own, just like anything. So I've made it my own. And those of you who follow me, I could easily spend an hour putting up the directions, calling in the four winds. So I'm not going to do that. I will stand and deliver. And what's familiar keeps you safe. So this is like a positive repeating pattern. I always have lots to say. The teacher in me, I see viewers are engaging. Welcome, folks who are just tuning in. Um, and I'm used to working with children too. So I'm used to, children tuning out and then they tune in again. So, yeah. Um, all right, let's do it. The winds of the south, great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin, to walk softly on the earth. Teach us the beauty way. Aho. The winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, protect our medicine space. Teach us the way of peace to live impeccably. Show us the way beyond death. The winds of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient ones, come and warm your hands by our fires. Whisper to us in the wind, we honor you who have come before us, and you who will come after us, our children's children. Aho! The winds of the east, eagle condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Keep us under your wing. Show us the mountains we only dare to dream of. Teach us to fly wingtip to wingtip with the Great Spirit. Aho! Mother Earth, Pachamama, we've gathered here for the honoring of all your children. Stone people, the plant people, the four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlers, the fin, the furred, and the winged ones, all of our relations at home. Mother Sun, Grandmother Moon, Star Nations, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unnameable. Thank you for bringing us together and allowing us to sing another song of love. Now I want to open up my Wiracocha, slipping into timelessness. If you want to join me and follow my lead, you can, or you just receive it. Coming from the heart space, setting the intention. Inhaling, going up. Reaching into the Wiracocha. Pulling it down. Golden, beautiful energy. Sinking into timelessness. Sinking into the present moment, into our sacred space. And now, Dragon Dreamers, I'm going to extend my Wiracocha onto you. Get ready to receive it. My Wiracocha. Cascading down. Cascading down. Swirling down and around you. Golden, warm. Beautiful, golden, iridescent light of my Wiracocha onto you. All right. Hope you have shifted into timelessness, into our sacred space. And it's time for me to remove my background. I really like my background, you know. It's not a big deal for me to whip that up, but at the time when I created that background, it was an accomplishment. And yeah, not that I'm promoting Canva, but I do use Canva. And if you're looking to level up with StreamYard, it's user friendly. I'm enjoying it. Okay, I want to turn off my background. Media assets. Oh, come on, I'm live. Come on, AI Gina, you're out there. Are you here with me, AI Gina? Backgrounds. Okay, there it is, and I don't want a background. I don't remove my background, you won't be able to see the gemstones. Usually it just says no background. Okay, let me go to visual effects and choosing none. Okay, so there you are. I'm going to lower this here. There we go. So I tend to be hooked on the number 3 lately. I'm noticing there's a handful of folks who are tuning in live. If you're close to your computer, the first person to let me know a number between 1 and 12 in the comments, I will use that number. Pick a number between 1 and 12. And I will look in the comments to see what number is in there. That's where I'm going to put my stone. In the meantime, Let's mix these up. And if you book a session with me, I don't take 500 years to mix things up. They're already mixed up and whatnot ahead of time. You probably be surprised when you book a session with me how much it flows and how much I buckle down. A lot of clients are actually thrown off because they anticipate spending the first hour just, kind of updating me. And it's like, no, I just need like 5 to 7 minutes, not even to do that. So nobody's let me know a number in the chat. It's not too late, folks. There's a handful of people tuning in live. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pick one of those numbers. The first one that I see in the chat's the number I'm going to use. All right. Coil, recoil, loosen the soil. Coil, recoil, what are your morals? Coil, recoil, the truth does not spoil. North is south, east is west. 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 I'll tell you how to serve the universe best. All right, my eyes were open. Now I'm going to close them. This is a new moon wisdom weavers dreaming with gemstone Gina. What is a special message for dragon dreamers this new moon? Something to keep in mind. My eyes are still closed. So immediately, this message is a masculine message. And there's a little bit of depression going on. I'm looking at the chat. I don't see a number. I'm going to choose on behalf of the collective. I'm going to choose the number 3. I'm going to put that there. I'll put it here so you can see this. There's nothing in the middle. So what does this mean? Well, it was going right, masculine. My hand, it felt closed. Sign of depression. Even now, my hand, it's not closed like this. It's like closed, like a triangle shape. And my thumb is in. So as a collective, this is, folks need to be reassured. It's, December's around the corner for a lot of folks out there. It's already 2026. Summer is like tomorrow for people who are trying to lose weight and they're super stressed out. 2025 has been quite the big year. 2023, 4, 5 consecutively, they've been like really big years, and this one's been like the big one. And a lot of dragon dreamers, they've been doing their homework, but they don't mean to be questioning and challenging, but they can't help it. Some have not seen results and they're challenging. Maybe I don't have free will. Maybe I don't even have a choice. You're right. If that applies to you. So there's a lot of you out there that you've been doing your homework and you've been seeing results. Great. There's a majority of you out there, that you've been doing your homework and you're not being lazy, you're not cutting corners, and you're not getting results. You've gone through the phases where you've gotten temporary results. I use weight loss and confidence often as an example, but then, the weight comes back and it comes back even more. Just when you think you were confident, all of the sudden, the zipper on your winter coat is broken, and you know what? You wouldn't be caught dead in your winter coat from the last season because of confidence, something like that. So the thing is that this gemstone reading is really telling it like it is. This gemstone reading is being compassionate, but it's also giving tough love. And in my post that I made this morning in my Buy Me a Coffee, I was commenting how, we all have our limits, including me, and I'm at my limit with people complaining. Right? Who wants to hear somebody complain? But here's the thing, like if you've genuinely tried and you're not getting results, then you're that person this gemstone reading is talking about. And your hand, even right now in this moment, look at your hand. I bet you have a closed hand. And your thumb, I'll take my glove off so you can see better, but your hand is like this. So like having a closed hand isn't a good sign. And when the thumb representative of free will, those of you who study palmistry, I had to actually put palmistry on hold because I didn't like what I was reading. I had to refocus on other things, and I will revisit palmistry. But the thumb, oh my God, when your thumb is out, the more open you are, the more free will you have. And if your thumb curves like that, it's even better. Ugh. But if your thumb is going in and it's even curving in, that's that's like when people are on their deathbeds, they close right in. So I'm also this message is coming from the masculine. There's a lot of illegal science experiments going on, and folks like the Homo sapiens sapiens and raccoons, primary apes, chimpanzee, orangutan, we have thumbs. And there's an image of a black um, people cat hominoid, basically like a black wolf with people legs. But the hands in particular, there's other species mixed in there, like raccoons and like just a domestic black cat. Um, we all have a history as Homo sapiens sapiens where we were severely abused as a species. And so this gemstone reading is triggering on a subconscious level a time in our past lives where we didn't have free choice, we didn't have free will. We would go to sleep, like we would be put to sleep, and then we would wake up with different body parts. And it was very disturbing. And so some of us, most of us, because this is a collective, are triggered by this gemstone reading with this business of the closed hand, because as 2025 is closing in, you feel like your life is closing in. You don't feel like there's even a 2026. Is there even a tomorrow? Is there even a later today? You are depressed, and everything that you believed or thought that you believed has changed. This is traumatizing. Um, there's an emphasis on the masculine because this is very challenging for you. And working, with literary devices and metaphors, when when we were babies, we stayed close by the mother, right? Because we needed milk, and mothers produce milk. And we would stay by the waters. This is typical animal behavior. We'd stay by the water because the water provided. And we could also hide in the bushes and stalk other animal, right? And poach. Not poach, hunt. Um, but now that we're grown up, if you will, it's time to leave the water. It's time to leave the mother. And Jaguar energy is so strong for the Dragon Dreamers. That's our territory. The Dragon Dream Soul Tribe is directly linked to the Dragon energy, and Jaguar energy, meaning four-legged energy, two-legged energy. There's much to say about the dragon, but the point that I'm making is that the the Jaguar energy is calling to us to transform and transmute and transmit. And if you don't do that, then yeah, 2026 is going to be just another repeat of this year. You don't fucking want that. You don't want next year. You don't want tomorrow to be a repeat, right? So in the Jaguar world, when you get old enough, you leave the mother and you leave the water and you go track the territory, right? But at some point, the female jaguars, they don't go very far because they get pregnant and then they stay by the water. That's their role, staying by the water. The masculine jaguars, they leave and they go far and wide, like super, super far and super, super wide. So far and wide, it's like you might as well be on another planet. And they're beckoning us to go with them. And it's scary. Why? Because it's unfamiliar. So in your waking life, stranger danger, don't fucking go anywhere with a stranger, but in your dream life, you know, you can, I recommend not going anywhere with a stranger, not even in your dream life, but I created a place called the Pine Tree Forest. It exists in my mind and it's available to you. And the Pine Tree Forest is a neutral middle ground, if you will. There's lots to be said about it, but you can go there to meet with strangers. It's a safe place for you and for the stranger. You can have conversations, but um, um, some of you, yeah, you're straight up lazy. There's a minority out there. You have a strong sense of entitlement. You're lazy. You want to work magic. You're not going to get results, right? But most of you, you've been there, you've done that, you've learned the hard way. It's trying to be trying. And so the gemstones are telling you very loud and clear that you need mind reprogramming or the patterns will repeat in your life. And this business of having not just like a closed fingers hand, but the thumb being closed in, like very narrow closed, like you're dehydrating and dying up, shriveling up and dying. Metaphorically, that's what's going on with your spirit and your heart. So stop beating yourself up and book that session. Book your private. The hummingbird is right here, and the heart is here. So if you're focusing on your heart, so is the universe. And the currency of the heart is not black and white. It's very open, the currency of the heart. So um, you need to bite the bullet and get mind reprogramming. Um, the mental plane today is in the right place. It's in alignment. Now, for what it's worth, the mental plane has been out of alignment consistently. So if you've got some paperwork to do, like maybe some banking, for example, or an essay that you've been meaning to write, like today's a good day to do that. You're going to have negative thoughts haunting you because you're haunted right now about what have you been doing with yourself. And I can't reassure you enough that you've been doing all of the right things. Unfortunately, you require mind reprogramming. So unless you get mind reprogramming, you're going to keep hitting brick wall after brick wall. The perspective is off. Um, some of you have an intrusive entity, possibly even more than one entity. And I know this because the gemstone reading here is kind of manipulating. Because eagle condor is the eye that sees everything. And you see, your mind's number one job is to protect you. So even in this gemstone reading, there's like, um, I'm not sure how I can explain this. It's just like a way of knowing that I've developed, but there's like your intrusive entities. I don't know how, but they're communicating to me in this gemstone reading because they're disguising themselves as eagle condor. Um, I'll show you. This here is eagle condor, and eagle condor is like, oh no, no, no! Don't listen to anything Gina's saying. Look here, this is your high quality item. You just focus on your high quality items and being you. And things like manipulation, like let the universe lead you. Don't do anything, just stay stagnant. No, 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 no. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you need to like stop and let things unfold. But this here is like fantasy. Fantasy is clouding reality, and that's the intrusive entity inside of you. The intrusive entity inside of you is a parasite and can't survive unless you're alive. Now, if you're alive, living a shitty ass life down in the dumps, maybe you have an addiction, you have a homeless crisis going on, intrusive entities don't care. They're just feeding off your life force energy. So they'll tell you anything and manipulate you. And that's very concerning. So your mind's number one job, Dragon Dreamers, is to protect you. And so right now, like your mind is really focused on giving up. Because you know what, if you just give up, it's easier to give up. If you just give up, you don't have to deal with any of this crap. Um, you're worth it. You're worth it. Um, that is just at glance. The physical plane, let's just take a look here. The physical plane is, should be down here. The physical plane is over here in the east. I mean, in the west. So, in terms of transforming and transcending, Jaguar is in alignment. If you wanted to transform and transcend your thinking right now, you can do that. You want to transform and transcend your perspective, you can do that. If you want to transform and transcend your snake skins, you can do that. If you want to transform and transcend your physical appearance, right now, at this time, you can't do that. At least not in a healthy, positive way. Some of you are at risk right now for gaining a lot of weight. Now, I don't mean like 10 or 20 pounds. I mean, some of you are going to start putting on the fucking pounds because you're scared, you don't feel safe. So your mind's number one job is to protect you. So what are you going to do? You're going to make yourself nice and overweight. So there's a risk, like, I mean, you could transform physically, but the transformation is in the negative. Physically, you could transform in the negative by getting a rashy skin. You could transform in the negative by having significant hair loss, anything to do with the physical. You can transform in the negative by falling into a depression, and now you're sleeping all day long and your muscles are literally shrinking away. So this gemstone reading is, there's still a month left in the month of in the year 2025, but this gemstone reading is a real cry out, a real plead for your attention, dragon dreamers. Like, you know, come this summer 2026, I don't want to hear anybody complain that they're fat. You've had ample opportunity to register for my programs. If not my program, somebody else's. The shaman needs a shaman, myself included. We all have blind spots. And I'm getting pissed off in this moment because the entity situation. The mind programming is one thing, but the entity is another. If you have an intrusive entity, you can't even engage in mind programming because the entity fucks it all up. The entity just plays along, making you feel like, oh yeah, mind reprogramming's working. No. So I'm the unapologetic type, and gemstones are cracking down here. Uh, don't give up. Don't give up. Okay? Don't do it. If you need to take the rest of the day off, smoke a few joints. Maybe you haven't been out for a while. Call up your friends. Go out and get drunk. Be safe. Have fun. Life's about the little things. Maybe you haven't been for a ride in a long time and that brings you joy. Go for a ride. Take your dog for an extra long walk. Do something that's gonna, you know, shift this. It's not over. Okay. If you give up, then you stay stagnant. So if you think today's a bad day, what's it going to look like in a year from now? Some of you are making comments, I'm not going to be alive in a year from now. Well, you know what? You're still tuning in. So that tells me that you actually have hope that you will be alive in a year from now on a subconscious level. Maybe you don't realize it. You know what? Look at your epigenetics, dragon dreamers. Epigenetics matters, right? There's the thoughts inside my head and then there's the environment around me. Don't be afraid to make new friends. Don't be afraid to, be vulnerable. There's maybe there's like a bunch of people at the park hanging out every now and then you want to get in on that. Don't give up. Your heart is in the right place and that's what matters. The new moon is about planting seeds, keys, dreams. The full moon, we just have to trust and let it go, right? The full moon is also representative of the moon being a big fireball burning and cleansing away. But the new moon is like, this is the time to compost. This is the time to put things in the soil, in the womb, in the tomb. womb and tomb, the same place where all creative energy juices flow, right? Ocean of the belly of a pregnant woman. It's all one and the same. There's other things that are coming to mind, but there's a strong emphasis, there's concern. I still have to pull a card from the Dragon Dreams Oracle. The committee of the ones who listen, this one here, they're listening. But you know what? If you're going to start complaining, they're not going to listen, right? They're not listening. But if you're like, this is where I'm at and this is why I'm upset, they're going to listen to you. If you're like, I'm bitching and I'm complaining, well, they're not going to listen. And like their job is to listen. They're like recorders. They just like take it all in and then they report the information to other committees. But, you know, depending on what the content is, then they proactively listen. And we do belong to a greater buddy system web that we belong to. And so the committees of the one who listen, like if you wanted to have a sincere conversation, pray today, write a journal and address it to the committee of the ones who listen. Now is a good time to do that because they're listening. But if you start complaining, they're not going to listen. No. Just keep that in mind. Um, Sea turtle energy keeps coming up because there was a number of dragon dreamers. This keeps coming up the last few gemstone readings, actually, but there's a number of dragon dreamers. Sea turtle energy for me starts in the spring and it ends in sometime around Halloween, Thanksgiving, somewhere in there. Yeah, the month of October. And there were a lot of dragon dreamers who had very strong sea turtle energy in July. And they had homework that they needed to buckle down and do because they were starting their journey late, but they could still very well catch up and reach the finish line far in advance, right? But they had to like be proactive about it. Some people were and some people weren't. The ones who were got results. The ones who were not proactive, who just like kept treading the water, uh, they didn't get the results. And now it's too bad. Now alchemy has, it's like, you know, there's these cookies that you're going to put in the oven. So if you wanted to change the recipe a little bit, like there's still time, but you know what, at some point those cookies are going in the oven and now they're baked and now you can't go back. So now you have to wait for another opportunity when the universe is making cookie dough. The opportunity will come again. And that storyline, I'm making a connection in this moment. That storyline keeps coming up with the sea turtle energy and folks back in July because that's the same storyline happening right now. Even though it's not sea turtle energy season, that's the metaphor that the gemstones are presenting to me. They're saying, remember back in July and everything that I just finished reiterating now? That's what's happening right now, except you need to take action now because if you're waiting for 2026, it's going to be too late. Now is the time, right? Mm. So, to make an example, some of you, like myself, I would like to join a dance class. Well, I'm having a hard time finding a dance class with my schedule and arrangements with my car and whatnot. So the thing is, I'm not in a dance class, but on my own, I'm doing hip rotations and range of motion behind the scenes. Maybe some of you in September, you're going to start your new program. You're studying to be a nurse. Great. So you're not doing any homework or nothing until January when your program starts. Well, you know what? Somebody who's genuinely passionate about nursing interested in the biology of belief, they would genuinely be excited not to hit the books before their program starts, right? But to at least start flipping through it. Somebody would just genuinely be interested in watching a show about the body and taking care of people and medicine, that kind of stuff, right? So I'm just making a point here, Dragon Dreamers, that um, it seems my personality is coming out in this gemstone reading, which um, it's a collective reading and it applies to me too. There's some things in my life that I'm ready to call it quits. You know what? Because I've done my homework, but now this gemstone reading, applying it to myself, it's like, well, shit. Maybe I should not let that go. Um, I require mind reprogramming. I've lost count of the number of intrusive entities I've had extracted. It seems like every time I meet with my colleagues, they're extracting an intrusive entity. Um, Polaris's focus is in the south. I'll show you. There's one of Polaris's horns. Here's the other. And with hummingbird, makes a triangle. And then wherever the longest part is pointing, that's the focus. So it would be here. Sometimes, depending on the vibe I'm getting, it means like a soccer net. And this doesn't even apply. But today it's focusing on the south. And if you look in the south, the only thing here is, one of Polaris's horns and this one, which represents the child. So think about your heart. Think about the inner child and what truly brings you happiness and joy. Think about who the fuck you are. How are you showing up in the world? Is that how you want to show up? What are your priorities? Probably survival mode for most of you. How can you shift out of that? You know, start taking one step at a time. The universe is going to focus on the heart, currency of the heart, hummingbird, child within. Child within, that's very powerful, subconscious mind. Arguably, the subconscious mind is a child mind. How frustrating is that? And yet, how beautiful is that? Quite the paradox. All of these adult themes really are inconsequential. Themes that children are focused on, like sharing and community. Children, they don't understand money, you know. Um, that's something I always had a hard time with. Kindergarten, grade 1 and 2 in particular. The kids don't understand money. And hot lunch, everybody who paid for the hot lunch gets one, and then kids who didn't pay don't get one. And they don't understand that. And then there's other situations where, like, it's Christmas time, and teachers are handing out candy canes. The whole classroom gets a candy cane. Well, you didn't have to pay for that candy cane. Kids don't understand that. So sometimes they get stuff and sometimes they don't. And then they start comparing and contrasting themselves to other people. False inhibiting beliefs. So if you think you have a problem right now, I guarantee it's rooted in childhood, and that child within is screaming, crying out to you, and so is Eagle Condor, because there's an intrusive entity blocking out their voice, manipulating you. And there's also a need for you to have like energy medicine work to take care of that. But there's also a need for you to have mind reprogramming done. And ultimately, it sounds like soul retrieval. Soul retrieval isn't a one-off session that you would just book. There's steps to unfold. So, um, I think too, to share with you personally, and this is a collective reading, it applies to me too, but I've been wanting to publish the Dragon Dreams Oracle since last year, but I wasn't sure. And then I've added a few cards, and now it's like complete. And I said to myself, I'm going to wrap up some things that I need to wrap up. And then the month of December, I'm going to reward myself the delayed gratification of actually making these available for purchase. But I admit that I've been thinking to myself, well, why don't I just forget this? Like, and why am I thinking this? Like, I like the Dragon Dreams Oracle, and for what it's worth, if it can help somebody out, why wouldn't I make it available to others? But I'm going through the motions because a part of me feels totally not appreciated. You wouldn't believe how many free resources and how many gemstone readings and Dragon Dreams Oracle conversations that I have in particular, and hardly anybody tips me on buy me a coffee. But then I see the views and people are watching, and also when I'm live, people will message me behind the scenes asking how they can get the private gemstone reading, but of course they don't want to pay for it, and also just like the content in here, the text that goes with it. I feel like I'm just pouring my heart and soul into this. And again, I like it. It works for me. And if it could help somebody else out there, like, you know, you can just have it. You don't even have to pay me money. Just take it, right? It's the currency of the heart. But the thing is, there's the business side of the spiritual biz entrepreneurism, and that business side demands money. It demands that energy exchange. And when I think about all the, like in a positive way, the natural time, energy, and workflow that went into the Dragon Dreams Oracle, I've been thinking about actually teaching the gemstone reading. That is going to take me time to, make a presentation, and it's a lot of work, and I'm kind of 50-50 bucket because again, it benefits me, but I don't have to take my personal time to make it a point to make something available to other people out there. And you know what? If there's a small handful of folks out there who really desire, then they could email me and then we could get together as a small collective and do this. But um, this is my example that I offer to you. So this gemstone reading, applying it to me personally, I feel like it's saying, no, Gina, no, like publish those Dragon Dreams Oracle. Do it. So, just like your books, it's out there and available to the collective. And people can absolutely take this and make it their own. Nobody could ever pay me. Uh, Nobody could pay any healer any dollar amount for what they do. It is priceless what we do. And any oracle deck, they're expensive. But really, you could never pay anybody. Nobody would pay what the true cost of an oracle deck cost, for example, the amount of information that you're getting. But this gemstone reading is like encouraging me and you, like, if you're on the verge of saying, fuck this, I'm not doing this, the gemstone readings are saying, do it, do it. And if for some reason you're not able to do it, you need energy medicine and or mind reprogramming. And if you don't buckle down with energy medicine and or mind reprogramming, then you will not be successful. It's not your fault. You won't be successful because the energy medicine issues that you have and because of the intrusive entities. So you can choose to remain stagnant now that you're awakened to this, or you can choose to take charge of your life and book that session with yours truly. This summer, I don't want to hear you complain that you're fat. And it sounds like the Gnome King and the Gemstones don't want to hear that either. And to be fair, it sounds like the Gnome King and the Gemstones, if I don't publish the Dragon Dreams Oracle, they don't want to hear me complaining about it come this summer. You know what? We can't live our lives by coulda, woulda, shouldas. Come this summer, mark my words. Okay, I'm not one to hold people to their words, but come this summer, 2026, if I have not published the Dragon Dreams Oracle and I make a statement like, oh man, I really should have published, you have the right to give me shit. Okay, Dragon Dreamers? You have that right. I will continue to, it's trying to be trying. I will try to publish this in December, but that's my project in December. It might bleed into January, but I will strive after this gemstone reading today. So let me know in the comments how you relate. If you book a private session with me, I don't relate to you. You're the star, you're the focus. But this is what's nice about the collective. The masculine energy can be intense. Polaris is very masculine, and he can be like an overprotective father, and so it's hard for him to back off. But sometimes he won't hesitate to like be in our face. And he's in our face right now. So it's like now. So I'm going to pull a card from the Dragon Dreams Oracle. Oops, sorry, my microphone there might not be able to hear me. So there's a handful of folks tuning in live. I know some people, they're doing their dishes and tuning in simultaneously, or you're driving down the highway. But if you're tuning in live, pick left or right. Whatever I see in the comments first, left or right. Type it in, somebody, left or right. If you don't pick, I will have to pick. Left or right, Dragon Dreamers? Come on, left or right, left or right. Okay, I'm going to pick left. If you're tuning in, pick top or bottom. Top or bottom, somebody. Top or bottom in the chat. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Top or bottom, top or bottom. Nobody's putting anything in the chat. I can see there's viewers here. All right. If you're washing your dishes, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'll pick one. Top. Okay. Left or right? Let's go right this time. Top or bottom? Well, the bottom you could see because I've been going like this. Top or bottom? Top or bottom? Left, center, right. 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 Which one? Which one? The center. Okay. I'm going to close my eyes. Okay, my eyes are closed right now. This finger right here, the earth, the air. Hey, air, which one do you want? Wants this one. My eyes are open. Card 71. RTT. So this is a great card to pull. All the cards are great cards to pull. Clearly, this has phenomenal synchronicity with my gemstone reading. Now, this is a collective reading, so this makes me feel a little bit better. Most of you have a need for mind reprogramming. So a lot of you have intrusive entities, but a lot of you who are listening in, you're in a state where you don't have an intrusive entity. It's a mind reprogramming issue. So if you're trying to lose weight, for example, good luck, not going to happen. You need mind reprogramming. So don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault. RTT, rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy. I was trained by Marissa Peer herself, the creator of RTT. And this here, I'm a big fan of the iceberg metaphor. I like images, but like this 5% up here, that's you trying to lose weight. This 95%, that's your mind saying, no, we're not going to be losing any weight. And your 5% is going, yes. And the 95% is going, no. So what RTT does is it reprograms your mind. So I don't go into your mind. When I do energy medicine, I go into your energy field. So when I do RTT, a lot of folks, they think I'm inside their head. I'm not. My voice is in your head, and you adopt my voice and let it in until it becomes your own. And we take something like being overweight and not being able to lose weight, and we bring it down here. We change the programming. We find the programming here that says no, the blueprint that says you're not losing weight. Your programming is to stay overweight. We find that, we identify it, we smash it, and then we replace it. So we replace it by bringing something from the conscious mind, the 5%, down in here. Now, mind reprogramming, it's called rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, because it's rapid. So one presenting issue, 1 month. So if this appeals to you, basically what you're going to want to do is book a session with me. We'll do some story medicine, clear your chakras, because even though you may or may not have an intrusive entity, we always need our chakras cleared. And then the second session, we dive right into RTT. And then when you book RTT with me, you get a personalized transformational. So I used to provide an audio, but what I do now is I record the session on Zoom, and then I note the timestamp when the transformation starts, and then you have homework for 21 days. The next 21 days, you need to listen to that personalized transformation. Do not miss one day. Do not. And if you think, oh, I missed a day, I'll just listen to the audio, the transformational part 2 times in a row tomorrow to make it up. This takes commitment. So it's a recipe, if you will. And when it comes to the rules of the mind, a little bit of a process, ways of knowing. Just like those of you who work with dough, I used to love making pies. And when I first started making pies, I would just quickly mix all the ingredients together. And then I learned the very moisture in the air impacts the dough. So I may or may not need my vinegar, egg, water mixture. Sometimes I need it all, sometimes I hardly need any, because it depends on the very moisture in the air, ways of knowing. Anyways, I'm very clearly passionate about RTT. I did my training back in 2021. So this shit is real. And, you might say to me, well, if my mind's number one job is to protect me, then why would my mind keep me overweight? Keeping me overweight keeps me depressed. It keeps me stagnant. It keeps me, having low self-esteem. And it's like, yeah, but keeping you overweight is keeping you safe for, I don't know, something that happened, a blueprint that needs to be identified. And until you identify that blueprint, you won't have results. And that just keeps coming up today. You won't have results. And if you do get results, it's just going to be temporary. So there's the gemstone reading. Very, very powerful. All of them are powerful. There's so much just I could still go on. I mean, I haven't even talked about the wise and well and Orca elders. And that's the thing about these gemstone readings too. Like some gemstones speak a little bit louder. This gemstone hasn't even presented itself yet. Neither has this one. So I'm interested, like, when are those going to start speaking to me? Why are they even compelled to be part of my gemstone reading now? I don't know, but it's like interesting. This one here, this is the squid folk, and they only presented themselves back in the spring, summer. These three stones, the feminine, the Morrigan, they're in mixed order. Um, it would it would have more significance if it was like that. But the fact that it's like this means the sisters are not in alignment. So if you wanted to work with like the Morrigan right now, um, you can try to, but the strong energy right now is the committee of the ones who listen. And the committee of the ones who listen, they work with all of these committees, right? Committees within committees. Yeah. Manus, I wanted to mention this earlier, is here. And he's really crying out, change your story, change your life. Right? Manus helps you with your Akashic record, and he senses how you're very stuck right now, and he's concerned physically about how ailments are impacting your life because how you think and feel is so important, and you're in charge of your story. But when you're in survival mode, you're not in charge of your story, somebody else is. When you're in survival mode, you end up having to put up with other people's crap. You might have to live with somebody who is rude to you. But if, you don't put up with that, then you're homeless. And even though you could be homeless and be free, well, here in Canada, it's winter time pretty much, and the homeless shelters and all that are full. So, how much control do you have? Um, Manus is very concerned. A lot of you are feeling so down in the dumps because you're beating yourselves up, you're blaming yourselves. It's not your fault. You have a mind reprogramming issue. A lot of you have intrusive entities that came up. Most of you right now in the collective, it's a mind reprogramming issue, at least this collective gemstone reading. And Manus is saying, you better be careful because, like, recognize how you feel. It's not good, right? So that's going to create physical ailments. And once something gets expressed as a physical ailment, it gets hard to um, reverse engineer, rewind the process. Like somebody who has stage 4 cancer will ask me, Gina, can you help me? And it's like, I can, but you know what? It's really hard as a hypnotherapist to help somebody who's already has like a terminally um, illness, and that the patterns in their lives are already so destabilized. And that's why this work is so important every day, day in, day out, spending time with the oracle, reflecting on how you think and feel, because um, ailments result as a form of communication for your blueprint. That's how your body is protecting you. So the rules of the mind, yes, they are frustrating. They really are. So, um, All right. So those of you who have tuned in, hope you enjoyed listening to this gemstone reading. I know there's a few folks out there, they've got little ones and they enjoy listening to my gemstone readings just while they're cleaning and doing whatever, tending to their children. So let me know in the free Facebook group, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, how you relate to this gemstone reading. The Facebook group is free, Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, and it's a great place where other dragon dreamers congregate, think, pair, share it up, take pictures of your dream journals. I would love to see them. And there's lots of free content that I provide. There's paid memberships that you can take advantage of. And if you really want to level up, then you definitely need to get in on a private membership, because the private membership, that's the one where you get all of the attention. And then, like I was mentioning earlier, I provide a structure, but we don't have to stick to it. You know, if you want to spend the whole session focusing on energy medicine, you don't want anything to do with the gemstones, we could do that. You know, we really could. Those of you who are really pumped up about mind reprogramming, I'm telling you, the mind can only focus on one presenting problem at a time. So I would be ripping you off if I provided you with 2 RTT sessions in 1 month. And Marissa Peer, she would not be happy with me. And I really respect Marissa Peer. And there's a science behind it. It's been tried and tested. Okay, so you know that these modalities work. So if you want to stop blaming yourself and get results and have permanent, pervasive change, then you need to book a private with me for mind reprogramming. And I'm excited for you if that appeals to you. And the privates that I offer, they are limited. And my prices, they will be going up. So prices always stay the same for current paying members. So people who work with me typically work with me for at least 3 to 5 months, up to a couple of years. And the service I provide, it's very integrated. It's like a martial arts. It's built. You do your homework. You see the results. It's a results-driven practice. And that's what's so exciting about what I do. So I would absolutely adore if you registered for one of my programs, and I would love for you to buy me a coffee, to show appreciation. Let me know if you're interested in the Dragon Dreams Oracle. Let me know how you relate to this gemstone reading. And like I said, if 2026 summer comes rolling around and I have not published the Dragon Dreams Oracle, you have permission to give me trouble, because today's gemstone reading is telling me do it. And if there's something in your heart that you really would like to do, it's a real push. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. So let's close sacred space. Oh, let's do fire ceremony. I almost forgot. Today I was on here for, an hour and a half. Usually I'm just on here for an hour. But I couldn't help but notice, I see the views on my end. There's a lot of views. I know some folks, they're just, lying on the couch scrolling through. But it means a lot to me when I see the views increase in numbers, because then I know my message is getting out there with the Dragon Dreams Oracle. So something that you want to let go, something that you're thankful for. I just have 1 stick today, so I'm going to break it in 2. Now I have 2. Something that you want to let go. And we always think of negative things, right? Like, it's easy to let go. I want to let go of this, 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 this. Like, how much time do we have? Because I got lots of things to let go, right? So, but sometimes you want to let go of something positive because it's over, like an experience. Maybe you just finished wrapping up the examination period, and now you're graduating from university, and you want to let that go. You're not a university student anymore. You're a graduate, and you're going to be entering the work world, right? Anything that you want to let go, anything, any troubles. So you just talk into the stick, or you blow it into the stick, the emotion. Anything you want to let go. And something that you're thankful for. Anything that you're thankful for. And ironically, if somebody hurt your feelings, did you wrong, if you're in the process of doing soul retrieval, then you're in the process of flipping everything. This is the hummingbird energy. You would be thankful for the lessons learned, despite how harsh they were. You're thankful for them. So being thankful and grateful isn't always like something fluffy. Being thankful and grateful, it's not always some big blowout experience like your wedding day and you're thankful for all the support. Being thankful and grateful is just, you know, being thankful that the electricity is working. Being thankful that the nails holding this building together is together. Being thankful that a community came together to build the building. Whatever you're thankful for. So then what you do is this is your death arrow, and you feed it right to the fire. I'm wearing a new pair of gloves today. I feel like they might catch on fire. And then I just hold it over my tin can. Ouch. And it's out. No glow or nothing. It went right out. This is the one that we were thankful for. I don't have much of a candle left, and then this stick is a little bit short. Might just be a quick flame here. You have to hold it like this. And as you saw, it stuck to my finger there for a second. Ouch. And this is exactly why we just work with little flames. Fire safety, can really have fun with spiritualism. You want to practice fire safety. I know when I was first meditating, I have this here as a barrier for my cat Rosie because she likes to stand right over my candles. So this here prevents her from doing that. And also, when I meditate, I find like I get really close to the candle, and one time my like eyelashes and eyebrows were singeing on me, and it was just like, whoa, like I had to be careful with my hair and tie it back. Um, so, anyways, that just came to my mind while I was doing that. So now let's close our sacred space. And the more you open and close sacred space, the archetypes, they're real. And so they get to know your vibration, how you sound. Even if you're not feeling well and your voice sounds a little off, they recognize you, right? The way you breathe, the way you blow into the floral water. So it's going to bring my Wiracocha that I put over you. So I'm collecting the golden foils of light in and around you. Maybe you'll feel a little bit cold. It's warm, beautiful golden Viracocha of yours truly, mine, coming back to me, informing my chakras and passing the information down to Pachamama, Mother Earth. And now I'm closing my Viracocha. So if you opened your Viracocha when I opened mine, you're in the process of closing yours too. It goes out, up, back to the top. Closing my Viracocha, closing sacred space. Informing my chakras, closing sacred space, informing Pachamama. And now to do the closing convocation. And so thank you, Snake, for helping us to loosen and let go. Thank you, Jaguar, for protecting our medicine space, helping us to transform and transcend. Thank you, Hummingbird. Great lessons today. And a bit harsh the gemstone readings were. And I thank the gemstone readings for their harshness. The gemstones aren't being mean, saying they don't want to hear us complaining. They're saying, take fucking charge in your life, Dragon Dreamers. Conquer. Conquer, conquer, conquer. Conquer your Akashic record. Stop beating yourself up. Focus on the finest nectar, just like Hummingbird. Hummingbird doesn't, go mosey on over there where the flowers are all faded and dying. Hummingbird goes to the flowers that are the freshest and full of the finest nectar only. Thank you, Eagle Condor, for reinforcing this, because the great eye of Eagle Condor sees all or nothing, and Eagle Condor sees us. Thank you, Pachamama, Mother Earth. May we be better stewards of the land, our sovereignty, starting with our own bodies, walking, talking trees. We are Pachamama in our own right. And may we heal with the earth, the literal earth, plants, trees, the horizons, and all the beauty that earth offers us. And for Mother Earth to literally and metaphorically decompose things for us, and to compose, renew, restore things for us. And also for this business of healing with the land, healing with each other, and through the gifts that God has given to us. And thank you, Star Nations, Father, Sun, Grandmother, Moon, for bringing us together to sing another day. Naho. For the closing convocation, there's special words too, that I just make up the closing. The beginning I want to read for what it is, so you get to learn it. Wow. So let me know, Dragon Dreamers, are you going to take the energy medicine training with Alberto Villoldo? Are you going to take Marissa Peer's rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy? If you take RTT, drop my name, Gina Virginia Casella. I don't know if Marissa Peer still does it, but she was doing it where she was offering a discount if somebody referred you. So drop my name. Let me know if you're going to book a gemstone reading. Let me know if you've got some clarity in what that clarity looks like and sounds like. I feel a lot better. I was feeling, I didn't realize how cramped up my body was feeling, but now I feel more hopeful and reassured. Let me know if you can relate. Okay, Dragon Dreamers. Wow, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. That's what happens when you catch me live. Nobody participated in the comments, but I did receive a lot of psychic intuitive, if that's what you want to call it. I'm convinced if I'm thinking something, it's because somebody out there needed to hear it. So it would verify and validate. I think it would be cool and interesting for myself if I said something and you're like, oh my God, like she's talking about me, that's me that comment went out to. Let me know if that's you. So for a final time, those of you not familiar with me, this is a creation of my own making, not energy medicine or RTT, but the Gnome King's gemstones, the Dragon Dreams Oracle. It's a divinational practice that I created, and now I share it with the whole world. And my intention is I will pursue this December to get the Dragon Dreams Oracle available to you so you can purchase it online. And I would also like to have it available in an app form. And those of you, again, not familiar with me, visit my website, ginavirginiacasala.com. That's in the description there for you. Lots of free resources. I've published 8 books. I've got a suitcase full of dream journals. That's going to be the next. I've got projects lined up, okay? And you too, you should have projects lined up, and those projects, they should be alchemizing as you're alchemizing, and I'd love to know all about it. If you're struggling with false inhibiting beliefs, book an appointment with me. Intrusive entities, you're having nightmares, maybe you don't dream at all, let me know. Book that private. You're enough. Things are available to you. You're the same as everyone else, and you absolutely matter. You're important, and you're so important, and how you think and feel matters so much that the Gnome King was very present today in the gemstone meeting. And honestly, in this moment, I don't think he was ever present for the gnome for these readings. Like in a general way, he's present because they're his gemstones, but like he does not interfere. And today he's like here. And the Polaris masculine was high. So I'm going to say it again because I can see the views are going up, but folks who are just tuning in, I am about to log off. If there's something that you want to do, do it. If you're like, but I have been doing it and it's not working out, then you need mind reprogramming and you need to book that private. Okay? And then you can do it. Stop beating yourself up. It's not your fault. Your mind is very powerful. So powerful that you make yourself sick. You cause yourself to be stagnant. If you don't do it directly, the universe will do it for you. We call that projection. You have the power to make change. Metaphorically, the phone is ringing and I'm asking you to respond to the call. I'm not asking you. The Gnome King and Polaris are asking you to respond to the call because you have gifts from God. You have a mission and a purpose. I don't know what they are. Maybe you don't even know what they are. Maybe some of you know what they are, but you're not stepping into it because you're in a position of stagnation. So you don't have to be stagnant. And you need to be humble, just like me, to accept that you have blind spots. I have blind spots too. So no matter how much I try to work on myself, there's always going to be a blind spot that I don't see. And intrusive entities are fucking bitch for blind spots. You'll never see them. And if you do, it's because they're pushing boundaries or because they made a mistake and now they're having fun with you, making you literally feel like you're losing your mind and going crazy. But it's because you have an intrusive entity. So the Gnome King's gemstones are very raw. It's not always like fluffy, happy stuff. And that to me was really coming out today. So I know I got a lot out of today's new moon reading, and these gemstone readings. I mean, you could take this just for today, and then tomorrow do a whole new gemstone reading. You could take this for the week, for the whole moon cycle. You could take it with you for the rest of 2025. But once you decide how you want to take it, commit to that. Commit to it. Let me know how you relate. I would love to know. Okay, I'm going to sign off, Dragon Dreamers. I spent unexpected additional 46 minutes with you. It was my absolute pleasure. Be on the lookout for changes in the schedule. I am also looking for somebody to host me. So there's always lots to look forward to. GinaVirginiaCasella.com. And as mentioned before, along with many other things, you're enough. Things are available to you. And you're the same as everyone else. And you matter. You really matter. How you think and feel matters. Do not dismiss any thoughts. You're intelligent. And when you're second guessing yourself, that's because your mind's number one job is to protect you, even if it means creating false inhibiting beliefs that keep you stagnant and stuck. And until you clear that, you won't be successful with whatever goal it is you're trying to achieve. I've stated that a number of times, and I'm not sure how to actually end this because I feel again, psychic intuitive coming out right now in this moment. A lot of you can't afford my services, and I can appreciate that. But how many of you are going to piss away your money on Christmas presents for December that mean the world to you, that come the end of January, February, those Christmas gifts you're not even playing with them anymore, right? How many of you are going to piss your money away this holiday season, making it a point to be part of this social opportunity and that social opportunity with people who really don't even give a fuck about you, right? Like it's one thing to go to a staff party and people are indifferent about you being there. It's a staff party, it's a community thing, but it's another when you have a circle of friends and you're going out with them and they're indifferent about you being there. Like that's not right. How many of you are going to spend money, $1,500 to $2,000 on that new tattoo? I don't want to fucking hear about your new tattoo. If you need my services, I don't want to hear about your new tattoo. I don't want to hear about your whatever the fuck it is. What are your priorities? That's where I'm at when I say I'm tired of people complaining. Gina, I really, really need you. Yeah, you know what? I got to pay my bills too, and I got to respect myself. Right? How many people are treading the water and have no intention of taking the deep dive? Like, I can't help you. But if you're serious about taking the deep dive, nothing is holding you back, not even your finances. You're a lot richer than you think. And if anybody out there has ever spent any money because their health has taken a hit, I can personally relate. I was seeing a psychologist for $215 out of my own pocket for 45 minutes. It wasn't even a full hour session. And she fucking milked me. She wanted to see me every week. She even wanted to see me twice a week at one point. So I learned a lot of hard lessons. So when I don't justify my prices. You could never pay me or another healer any dollar amount for what we do. And when I see people pissing their money away, those are not ideal clients. So I don't worry about them. But there are ideal clients out there who don't think that they're good enough to book my services. And that's where I'm feeling passionate in this moment. And those clients who don't think that they're good enough to book my services, they use money as an excuse. Oh, I don't have the money. You do have the money. You're lacking in confidence and self-esteem just to book me. You take advantage, full advantage, as I lovingly invite you to do so. All my free resources. You tune in live with me. You don't think you're worthy enough to have a session with me. And that just like destroys me inside. And I have a very strong understanding that the clients that I help are just like me, except when it comes to their hero's journey in this department only, you're a good, you know, 500 steps behind me. And I've already walked this road. That's why the buddy system and the soul tribe works. And you are worthy. So this Christmas, are you celebrating commercialism or are you celebrating Christmas? Because every day is Christmas. Every day is you matter. Every day is you're enough. Every day is things are available to you. And every day is you're the same as everyone else. And every day you fucking know. Every day is Christmas. So you are worthy. With, you know, I feel passionate in this moment because I'm thinking about like, times in my life where I thought I didn't have the money for things, but I learned it was because I didn't think I was worthy, you know? And I would attend promotions just like this one, and then at the end of the promotion, people would do like I'm doing now and really urge you. But like that's why. This message isn't going out to everybody. Some of you I don't give a fuck about. You'll piss your money away, you're not an ideal client, I can't help you. But those of you who want my help, your mind's number one job is to protect you. So staying stagnant is how your mind's protecting you and coming up with excuses like you don't have money, but you have money for this and you have money for that. You see, you do have money. You know who you are. And I urge you to book the privates. And when prices go up, they do stay the same for current paying members. It's really easy, actually. Like on Buy Me a Coffee, if you're not familiar with the platform, behind the scenes, when I change the price, it asks me, do you want to keep the price the same for current paying members? And it's literally yes or no. And I'm committed to yes. Right? And my prices right now are actually 50% off. So, anyways, I felt like I needed to say that. You are worthy. You're worthy. You know what? If you've been going, it's not. I'm not bashing psychologists. There is a time and a place for a psychologist. But if you're seeing a psychologist often once a week, even twice a week for how many years, you're not doing psychology, in my opinion. You're doing talk therapy, and that's only effective um, for a designated time. So, okay, Dragon Dreamers. I hope you have a fantastic day. GinaVirginiaCasella.com, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. Get in on it. Buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee. I'd love for you to buy me a coffee. Leave me a little message. Initially, it was buy me a beer, but I didn't think the um, acronym was as popular as buy me a coffee. At one point, I had buy me a condo. It doesn't hurt to ask, like if anybody out there wants to buy me a condo, you don't have to be shy about it. Some Dragon Dreamers, there's actually a lot of Dragon Dreamers out there who are like in the money, which is interesting because they don't have the self esteem to book with me, uh, which is interesting. But, you know, um, I love hanging out with you. It'd be nice to do a conference together, Dragon Dreams, Soul Tribe Collective Conference in the name of Story Species, Story Medicine. Lots of things to look forward to. All right, so officially for the last like 15, 20 minutes now, I was going to log off, but um, it was just such a pleasure to be with you today. There's not a lot of full moons, new moons left for 2025, and there's a real push here, real push. Follow your heart. Okay, Dragon Dreamers, I'm going to sign off now. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Until next time, sweet dreams. Dare to dream those dreams. Follow your dreams. They know the way. You're the dream, so you know the way. Think into that present moment and talk to you next.